Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos, and I'm a life coach, relationship coach, and breakup coach. You can change the language of this podcast in the YouTube video settings. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing what your dumper is scared of. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Subscribe to my weekly support emails. The link is in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing what your dumper is scared of. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you probably don't think that they have fears, but they do. In today's podcast, I'll be discussing the 3 biggest fears that dumpers have told me that they have. So let's get straight into this. And point number 1 is that you won't respect their decision. So when we're talking about fears that a dumper may have, one of the biggest fears that I have been told by dumpers is that they are concerned and worried that you as a dumpee will not respect their decision. And this is why it is so important to do exactly that. You need to respect their decision. Now, it's not just, of course, because we want to be kind of going against what their expectation might be of you, but it's just human decency. You must respect someone's decision, even if you don't like it. That is something which we need to do as human beings. But regarding your ex-dumper and their thoughts on it and how it could improve your chances of reconnecting, it is also very intricate to how this could all play out. Your ex, unfortunately, is your dumper because they lost romantic emotional attraction for you. That's the reality. That is what happened. When those thoughts, feelings, and attraction hit the necessary low point, they actioned the breakup. That was their decision. This is how it played out for you. Now, of course, you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I know what happened and I'm not happy about it. But it doesn't mean you should be thinking, well, I'm just not going to listen to what they're saying. I'm not happy and hence I'm going to ignore the fact that they've dumped me. I'm just going to almost carry on as if we are still a couple. That isn't going to help you, okay? It's not only bad from a human decency point of view, but it's not going to help you reconnect. So for those of you who think, well, I'm just going to almost continue as normal by messaging my former partner as often as I used to speak to them as if they are still my girlfriend or my boyfriend, to just put to one side the fact that they have said to me, I don't want to talk to you, okay? If you are just ignoring what has been said or made very clear to you, then you could get yourself in a lot of trouble further down the line, especially if, unfortunately, they contact people, maybe, unfortunately, they have to contact the authorities because you are not taking no for an answer. Hopefully, it would never get to that stage, but sadly, sometimes it does. But even if it doesn't get to that really bad point, we have to see and consider how your ex-dumper will be viewing you post-breakup. Because remember, you're listening to this because you want to get your ex back. You're listening to this because you want to reattract your ex. Do you think you're going to be improving your chances by annoying your ex after they dumped you? Now consider the fact they've ended the relationship. And remember what I said a moment or two ago. They lost romantic emotional attraction. It hit the low point. They ended your relationship. So what we can take from that is they are not feeling a good connection right now with you. Certainly not romantically. They are not viewing you in the best light. This is why they've ended the relationship. The attraction level has hit the low point. So do you think by ignoring what they are saying and not respecting their decision, do you think that's going to help you? Do you think that's going to grow attraction? Or do you think more likely it's actually going to lower it further? Unfortunately, it's going to destroy any remaining attraction which may have been lingering. So if you don't listen to what your ex is saying, they're going to be thinking to themselves, well, I've made the right decision. I've ended this relationship. and they are not respecting me. So that has confirmed my decision to end the relationship was right. And hence, when dumpers have told me that they're often concerned that their ex won't respect the decision, that shows that they are not having a very high opinion of their former partner at that time. Even if it's based on the concept of just thinking, well, my dumpy is clearly very hurt, and hence we're just not going to take no for an answer. Either way, they are not imagining that you're going to fit into this category, that you're going to be able to keep your emotions in check and live your life in the best way. And hence, this is the expectation they have of you. So if you can do the opposite of this, if you can live your life in a way where you do respect their decision, and hence their fears are unfounded, you're going to be very much surprising your dumper. Not only are you going to be acting like a good human being, but you will be surprising your ex for what they thought you would do and behave as. And if you can do that and prove you are a better person than they actually thought you would be, if they are concerned you're not actually going to respect them, that is how, slowly but surely, little droplets of romantic emotional attraction can start to rebuild in your ex's mind. I'm not saying it will happen suddenly, but slowly but surely, this is how you can turn the tide, turn the corner, and start to increase the chance of getting your ex back rather than reducing it. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please give this video a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is that you hate them. So let me know in the comments if you believe that your ex-dumper might think that you actually hate them. Let me know in the comments and let's see what the community thinks, because this is something which dumpers often tell me, that they are concerned that you as a dumpy will hate them. So when we're talking about worries and concerns and what your ex-dumper is actually scared of, this is something I'm told fairly often. They are scared that you hate them. Now, as a dumpy, you might be really shocked by that. You might be thinking, well, why are they bothered if I hate them? They don't want to see me anymore. They've said they never want to speak again. Well, firstly, we have to acknowledge that people speak in the moment. Yes, we have to respect their decision and what they are saying, but we also need to acknowledge that thoughts and feelings can change. I mean, unfortunately, as you've seen, once upon a time, you and your now ex were very much in love, and it was felt both ways. Right now, though, unfortunately, they are not feeling romantic love towards you. So we can see it changes in that direction, but it can sometimes change back. It doesn't mean that you can just think, well, if it's going to change back, I don't have to respect what they are saying. As we spoke about in point number 1, you must respect what they are saying, you must respect their decision, but you can also keep the open mind that things can evolve. They have done already, sadly. They could go back the other way. And hence, when we consider point number 2 of today's podcast and the fear that your ex-dumper has that you might hate them, even though as a dumpy you might think, well, they've said this, they don't want to see me again, they don't want to hear from me again, why would they care if I hate them? Well, it's because, contrary to popular belief, most dumpers do not hate their dumpy, and most dumpers don't wish bad on their dumpy, and most dumpers actually like the thought of their ex-dumpy viewing them in high regard. Now, again, this might seem perplexing, but your ex-dumper doesn't want to be hated. I mean, who does? Nobody wants that thought. Nobody wants that feeling. They will likely feel really bad that they've broken your heart. As I said, most dumpers do not want to hate their dumpy. Most dumpers hate the breakup itself. They felt they had to do it. It didn't mean they wanted to do it. So on that basis, you might now start to see why they can be concerned that you hate them. And in the heat of the moment during the breakup, they have obviously said things, i.e. the relationship is over. They may have said even more, which has hurt you, and you may have thrown things back at them as well. It's an emotional time. Things were said. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything was meant. Even if it was meant in the moment, as I've already described, thoughts and feelings can change. but your ex-dumper is likely to have a concern that you hate them. And that is why it's really important that you try and stabilize your emotions and feelings as quickly as possible. I'm not suggesting you're a robot. I'm not suggesting that you can go through a perfect breakup, because nobody can. But it is really important to try and stabilize as quickly as possible, to live a positive life, and to certainly not be contacting your ex in a negative way. You shouldn't be contacting them anyway, but if you're doing it in a negative way, it's like a double whammy. First of all, you're breaking no contact, which is generally the best advice to increase your chance of getting your ex back, maintaining no contact. So if you're breaking it, the double whammy is you're doing that wrong in regards of reaching out, chasing, pleading, begging. All of that's going to go against you. But if you're now adding in negativity on top, maybe calling your ex-dumper names, maybe saying this, that, or the other, that is going to be an extra element of difficulty that you will have in reattracting your ex. You're annoying them for chasing them, connected to point number one to some degree, not respecting their decision, but then you're adding the negativity. You're making your ex-dumper believe that you hate them. Do you think they're going to change their mind and actually want to be with you if they believe that you hate them? Okay, so don't cause yourself more challenges. Getting an ex back can be difficult. Don't make it worse for yourself. If you're listening to this and you think, well, I've already done that, I'm screwed, you must change now. We can only focus on the future. And in most instances, you can turn this around, but you must stop the negativity. If you feel you've been doing it up to this point, draw a line in the sand and never do it again. The past is the past. We must focus on the present and the future. You can do this. I believe in you. Let's start living a more positive life now. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. This is the best and diamond level of support that I can provide. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the buildup of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is that you won't remain an option. Now this is the biggest of them all, of what dumpers have told me they are scared of, and what your ex-dumper is likely scared of as well. And this is also a big shock to lots of dumpees. If you, as a dumpee, are thinking, well, my now ex-dumper ended a relationship, they don't want to be with me, why on earth would they care whether or not I am an option? Because they've decided to leave me. They don't care about me. But the reality is, most dumpers like the thought of their ex being an option. And if you behave in a way where you are that option, i.e. you are not living your life to the full, you're not necessarily chasing your ex, but everybody knows you just sit at home alone 24/7, you're not going out making new connections, you're not doing anything to increase the chance of making a new connection, getting a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend. If you aren't living your life in a positive way, then your ex-dumper will likely find out that you are waiting for them. You are acting as their safety net. And if you are actually doing that, then they're going to have no fear or concern that you are going to go and find someone even better. What does that mean? Well, it means they're in no rush to come back. If you are going to be their safety net, they can live their life how they wish, and there is no real rush to return. Now, if you, on the other hand, start living your life to the full, making new connections, becoming a version 2.0 of yourself, these are the things which can start to pull on your ex, can really start to make them intrigued about you, seeing you as a dateable option because you're dating new people. Even if they don't have evidence whether you're dating or not, if they know you have improved through friends of friends, social media, or the like, they will start to think, well, maybe my ex-badumpy could find someone better. You know, they're not just waiting around, kind of waiting for me. They're clearly living their life, and sooner or later they're going to find someone. And that is actually a fear that dumpers have, that you won't remain an option because they want you as an option. It doesn't mean they want to be with you now. It sadly doesn't mean that they will ever want to be with you again. But what it does mean is that if they know you are there waiting, they just feel nice and relaxed. They've got that option. But if you act in a way where you are not waiting, where you're not focusing on them, where you're not putting them on a pedestal, then that shock, that worry, that concern, that fear can start to regrow romantic emotional attraction and can start to make them wonder about you, feel intrigue, and get to the stage of potentially missing you. And if that happens, this is when they can really start to fear what is going on. They start to feel scared, and it can get to the stage where eventually they reach out and try to reconnect with you.